we're gonna make omelet in a cup today. So before you get started, pull up your recipe, read your ingredients, read through all the instructions before you start doing anything. When you go to cook anything, you should always read through the entire recipe first before you get started. So make sure you do that. Here's what we need to assemble all of our ingredients. You need a microwave safe cup, 2 eggs, cooking spray, salt, pepper, and then if you want any cheese or chopped peppers or chopped chives, get those ready as well. My kids don't really care for peppers and chives, so I'm not going to use them. I'm just going to keep it simple and use salt and pepper and some cheese. But some other things I wanted to tell you. If you don't have cooking spray, you can definitely use a little bit of olive oil or any oil you have. You could use, I'd say 2 teaspoons at the most should be fine, or some melted butter will work really well. Same amount, 1 to 2 teaspoons, and coat your whole cup with it. Speaking of cups, make sure you have a microwave safe cup. For example, I have this really cute old cup, but it has this shiny line on top and in the middle, and this is gold. And if you put this in the microwave, it could break your microwave. It could cause a lot of problems. So make sure you're using just a regular microwave safe coffee cup. And you also need milk. Another modification I have is if you have some coffee cream, you can definitely use coffee cream instead of milk. That's totally fine. So to get started, I'm going to read through my ingredients list. So I wrote it out so I could do this for the video. But the first thing you're going to do is spray the inside of your mug with cooking spray. So take your cooking spray, shake it up really good, hold it a little ways away from you, and give it a good spray. So it's totally coated. I can see it's all over everywhere. You just don't want your eggs getting stuck to the side of your mug. Then put it away. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your eggs and you're gonna crack each of them into your mug. So when I do this, I like to give it a really good whack. Sometimes people are really nervous about this and they kind of do it really carefully. 1 or 2 really good whacks. So I've got this nice broken shell. I'm gonna put my thumbs in here and I'm gonna open it like I'm opening a book, okay? So upside down, open it like a book. Good. Try not to get any shells in there. If you get some really tiny pieces that are impossible to pick out, don't worry about it, it's fine. But if you have any big chunks, pull them out. So a really good crack, use your thumbs, open it like a book. Next thing you're gonna need is a fork. And so in the recipe, it says beat with a fork. That means that you're just gonna stir it up really, really good so that you can break up the yolks, and it should be a nice yellow mixture. You can't really see that. I can move my camera. So mix it up really good until it's all nice and yellow. Oh, I spilled some. Whoops. Okay, now that I've cleaned up my mess, the next thing we're gonna add is your milk or cream. And so the recipe says that we're gonna use 1 tablespoon. So I have a tablespoon measurement here. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can take a large spoon from your utensil drawer, or you can eyeball it. So if you have a spoon like this, use it. If you have a large spoon in your drawer, use that. This is a little riskier because you run the risk of adding too much, but you can just drop a little bit in. So I'm gonna use my measuring utensil, and it's that much. Okay, so I added my milk. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper. The recipe says a pinch. So that's just like if you have a shaker like this one, you can do a couple drops. Less is more. Don't add too much pepper, it'll get spicy, and if you add too much salt, it won't be very good. So I'm just gonna add a little bit. And then in here, I would normally just eyeball it again with my salt, but too much salt is not good. So I'm gonna pour a little bit in my hand. It's about that much, just a little bit. Drop that in. And the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna add your cheese. I'm using cheddar. Usually that's the best kind of cheese that goes with eggs. So you're gonna grate some on your cheese grater, and if you don't have a cheese grater, you can definitely use a knife and cut it up very finely. You only want a tablespoon's worth, so just be careful. So I'm gonna just grate some cheese, and I'm gonna use my tablespoon, drop it in. And I do have a little bit extra here, so I'm just gonna use it. So it's not very much cheese at all. Then I'm gonna take my fork and mix it really, really good. Okay, now that everything is mixed up really well, this would be the good point to add in your peppers or your green onions if you have them, or any other seasonings you would like to use. But for me, I'm just using cheese, so I'm ready to put it in my microwave. So for this next part, we're gonna microwave our eggs, and all microwaves are different. I'll show you how I use mine. I'm gonna put my cup in the middle of my microwave, and on mine, if I just push the start button, it's going to start microwaving for 30 seconds. But most microwaves will have a cook time option. So if you don't have something like that, you just push cook time, 30. You want it on this side for seconds, and then push start. So let it go for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna check it to see how much it's cooked. Looks like after 30 seconds, I can see that some of the eggs are cooked, but it's still really watery. So I'm just gonna give it a little stir, and I'm gonna put it back in my microwave for 20 seconds, like the recipe says, and I'm gonna check it. So this is what my eggs look like after another 20 seconds. So it's a lot more cooked. I can see the cheese in there, but if I move it, still pretty runny. So I'll give it a little stir again, break up the cooked eggs so that it can all cook evenly. And now I'm gonna put it in for another 20 seconds. Keep an eye on it though. You might need to microwave it in 10-second increments or 20-second increments. I'm gonna do 20 and we'll see what it looks like. So at this point, your eggs might be done by now. But mine are a little bit runny on the bottom. I'm really, really close. So I'm gonna mix it up again just a little bit, and hopefully another 20 seconds will firm up those eggs and they'll be completely done. Okay, so it looks like that last 20 seconds really did the trick. So I can see now that there's no runny liquid at the bottom. When I poke and break up the eggs, I can see that they're firm. The texture feels firm. There's no bits that are shiny and watery looking. If it's shiny and watery, it means that they probably need just a little bit more time. These look great, so I'm just gonna break them up really, really good, and they are ready to eat. Last thing, as I was microwaving, I did notice that the sides of my cup got really, really hot. So be careful of that. The handle is still quite cool, but you might need an oven mitt, or you might just want to use a towel or a paper towel to hold on to it. Looks great though, and I hope that your eggs turn out great.